At least 1400. No, now 1500. You know what? Actually, who knows how many people have been spied on? Human rights activists, journalists, lawyers defending the vulnerable, elected officials, all specifically targeted. The WhatsApp Pegasus spyware row has confirmed the worst fears of privacy advocates and cybersecurity experts, that any of us can be hacked remotely without any way to protect ourselves. Our data, our messages, nothing is private. But even now, we're still not getting any clear answers from any of those involved. Here's a list of questions we absolutely need answers to. First off, for WhatsApp. How many people in India have been affected by the malware? Initial reports said 24, then it was 41, now Indian Express is saying 121. Well, you don't need to make public who exactly these people are. You do need to give us an exact number so we can properly understand the magnitude of all of this. And as this vulnerability was only discovered after an individual made a complaint, what proactive steps are you taking to ensure that you're able to detect this kind of breach and keep us safe? For Google, Telegram, Facebook, Skype, Apple, all of you tech companies, Pegasus does not just target WhatsApp. The lawsuit filed against the NSO group in California relies on reports that say it can infect any Apple or Android phone and can target other communication apps as well, like Facebook Messenger, Skype, Telegram, Gmail, iMessage. Are all these companies investigating whether a similar vulnerability was exploited by Pegasus? What's their plan of action to deal with Pegasus and other such spyware, for instance, Variant? For the NSO group, you have told us that your technology is not designed or licensed for use against human rights activists and journalists. You have said that any other use of our products than to prevent serious crime and terrorism is a misuse which is contractually prohibited. We take action if we detect any misuse. So, even though you cannot tell us who your clients are, will you be filing cases against whoever is using your software against human rights activists and journalists in India? Have you taken any such action in Morocco or Rwanda, where it has been revealed that your software has been misused the same way? And what about Saudi Arabia, about you know what? For the state of Israel, some questions as well. The government of Israel issues export permits for sales by the NSO group and other such companies. Such permits are supposed to be contingent on this tool not being used in an illegal manner. But an investigation by Haaretz has revealed Pegasus and other such tools have been sold to countries like Bahrain, Mexico, and Azerbaijan, where they've been used to target protesters, human rights activists, and even the LGBT community. And of course, let's not forget Saudi Arabia, who used it to track Jamal Khashoggi, and we all know what happened after that. So, what kind of oversight and regulation does the Israeli government maintain for Pegasus and other such spywares which it issues a permit for? Will the Israeli Ministry of Defense start cancelling export permits for NSO as has been requested in the Israeli courts? Now that we've dealt with everyone else, let's get to the elephant in the room via your phone, the Indian government. NSO says they only sell their product to government agencies. So does that mean the Indian government agencies purchase this spyware? The government has had 3 opportunities to deny this outright in Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad's statement, a statement released by the Ministry of Home Affairs, and a response to an RTI. There was no denial in any of these, only some waffle about how the government follows the law. The Quint has been informed by a former Home Secretary and ex-Intelligence Bureau officers that it is in fact common for the government to procure this kind of spyware from foreign firms. So, can we now get a straight answer from them? Did any of our government agencies purchase this tool? It's a yes or no answer, and it allows us to figure out how to address this fiasco. Coming back to that MHA statement about following the law, if the government did in fact purchase this tool and use it, does this mean the government is saying they used it legally? Here's cyber law expert Pawan Duggal on how this cannot be classified under any circumstances as legal surveillance.
Well, when you look at the existing law, you find that Section 69 of the Information Technology Act 2000 is the only provision under which lawful interception can take place. And that can only be done in the interest of sovereignty, security, integrity of India, friendly relations with foreign states, as also public order, decency or morality, or to prevent the commission of any cognizable offence. Of course, a detailed process has been stipulated of how the lawful interception can be done. But in this particular case, this is not falling within the 4 corners of lawful interception. The government itself is not much clear as to how this interception has indeed taken place.
And now for Access Now Policy Director Raman Chima on how this was hacking and cannot therefore ever be considered legal.
This could never have been actually legally used. In India, hacking a device is a criminal offence. Under Section 43 of the Indian Information Technology Act, it makes it a criminal offence to hack or essentially access a computer resource in an unauthorized way. What NSO and Pegasus does is definitely an example of illegal hacking. That provision has no exception for government, which means that hacking, even by government agencies, is illegal if it's targeting Indian citizens or Indian residents. The interception provisions in India's law, Indian IT Act, does not create an exception to this.
If it wasn't the Indian government that purchased the Pegasus tool, it doesn't mean the Indian government is off the hook. Former Home Secretary G.K. Pillai told the Quint he was aware of NSO selling its wares to people in India, including to private individuals.
And if a private sector agency used it, then ultimately speaking, the government has to take action to know who it is. And right now the problem is we're not getting these answers.
Now, WhatsApp informed the government about the Pegasus hack in May and again in September, but again the government seems to have done nothing. So, and this, just for a moment, please don't insult our intelligence by pretending CERT, IN couldn't understand the technical jargon in the notification sent to them. The Hindustan Times has even reported that the threat assessment unit of the government sent out details about Pegasus to government departments. So it's clear you knew. So the government knew what was going on here. They knew about the private individuals. So now we need to know, what is the government doing to stop other actors from using spyware like Pegasus, not just Pegasus, others as well, in India? Why are they wasting time asking questions from WhatsApp rather than the NSO group? And when will we have a proper cybersecurity framework to ensure victims of this kind of illegal snooping have some form of redress?